Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today is finally the day. I'm going to be starting my Power Rangers review series. So, here's how I decided to do it. I posted on my TikTok story asking y'all, how do y'all want me to review Power Rangers? And it was 50-50. So, here's what I decided to do. I'm going to review all Power Rangers episode by episode. And then at the end, I'm going to be doing a season overview talking about the entire series. So, having that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. The first episode of Power Rangers ever, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 1, titled Day of the Dumpster. So we start off in space, where we see two astronauts, and they stumble upon a space dumpster. So for whatever reason, they decide to open the space dumpster, and we get introduced to our villains of this season. We have Scrot and Babu, a troll and a vampire, who does much of nothing throughout this entire season. Then we have Fencer, a gold leprechaun, which who is being unappreciated and creates monsters. Then we have Godard, the right hand man for our next villain, which is Rita Repulsa, the Empress of Evil herself. Then we see her thanks the astronauts for letting her out of her space dumpster. And then she asks them not to leave, or else they're gonna miss her coming out party. Then she decides to attack the nearest planet, Earth. Then we cut to a city called Angel Grove, which I assume it takes place in California. We see the youth center, which is a gym and juice bar, where we meet 5 teenagers with attitude. Those teenagers are the fun-loving dancer Zach, then the Valley Girl Kimberly. We have the graceful and quiet Trini. Then we have the strong and powerful Jason. And last but not least, we have the nerd Billy. Then for the final two characters we meet Bulk and Skull, the basically comic duo of the season. After that, we see the two of them try to ask Kimberly and Trina on a date, and that didn't go out well for them because Trina and Kimberly end up flipping them into a mat. We get a cool moment where we see Billy is taking karate class from Jason, and it's kind of nice to see that the smart character is not good at everything, and vice versa. And we learn that Jason is really good at martial arts. And we also see that Bulk and Skull wants to beat people up, which Jason says isn't what karate is all about. But then shows them a tornado kick. That could really hurt somebody. Then we cut to the Moon Palace where we see Rita is all moved in, and if you see the front, it says Bandora Place, which that is from Zoo Ranger, and they didn't change. And then she looks out of her telescope and decides to put Earth in pain. So she decides to do an earthquake on Earth, which causes for an alarm at a building somewhere in the mountains to go off. And this is where we get introduced to two more characters, Zordon and Alpha. Zordon, a powerful wizard, and Alpha 5, who does everything that Zordon can do since his head is in a tube. Oh, he also did say that his head is stuck in a tube because he's stuck in a time warp or whatever that means. Then he tells Apple 5 that he needs 5 overbearing and over-emotional humans to fight Rita Repulsa. So then after that, we see Alpha basically kidnap Jason, Zach, Trini, Billy, and Kimberly to go all teleport them to the command center. And then we see Billy get really interested in the robot and about how technical he is. But then after that, Zordon decides to tell them what is going on. He tells them everything that's going on and tell them that they have to take on the powers of the Power Rangers and also the dinosaurs. Jason will have the powers of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the Red Ranger. Zack, the Mastodon, as the Black Ranger. Billy, the Triceratops, as the Blue Ranger. Trini, the Saber-Tooth Tiger, as the Yellow Ranger. And Kimberly, the Pterodactyl, as the Pink Ranger. They also will have access to giant robots known as Zords. He also gives them their transformation devices, which is known as Morphers, which is also called the Power Morpher. And then he lets them know that they will be known to one and all as the Power Rangers. So basically, after that, we see them basically tell off Zordon and tell them that this stuff is all weird. And then we see them leave out of the power chamber. But it's kind of weird because they don't give the Morphers back to them. They just take them and just leave. Suddenly, Rita realizes that Zordon is on Earth and doing stuff, so she basically saw it at her telescope, and she decided to send putties to attack Jason, Zach, Sharini, Billy, and Kimberly to stop them from ever becoming Power Rangers. Which, if you really think about it, she didn't really need to do that. If she would never did that, the teens would have never had to morph and become Power Rangers, if you think about that today. But anyway, so we see the teens try to fight the putties as best as they can, but there's no match for it. They don't know what they're doing. So Jason said, "Let's use the Power Morphers," and they basically use them and become we see the transformation sequence, which goes
Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
we see them basically get teleported all the way into Sentai footage from Zyuranger's first episode. We see them fighting Goldar and Putties on top of a roof, which is from episode 1 of Zyuranger, like I mentioned. And then after that, Rita basically makes Goldar grow because they're doing good now. And after that, we get Megazord footage from, I'm pretty sure, episode 6 of Kyoyu Sentai Zyuranger. And then after that, we see them use the Power Sword to fend off Goldar, and yeah. And I also forgot to mention that they turn into tank mode before they go into Megazord mode. So then after that, we see the Rangers return to the command center to basically celebrate their success of how well they did today. And then Zordon basically gives them 3 rules. Number 1, never use your power for personal gain. Number 2, never escalate a battle unless Rita forces you to. Number 3, always keep your identity as a guarded secret. No one should ever know that you're a Power Ranger. And then after that, we see Kimberly tries to trick everybody, saying, I don't know if I'm actually comfortable being a Ranger. The helmet does mess up my hair and stuff, but we see that she was joking. And then after that, they put their heads together and jump up into the air, and that's how we end off this first episode. Overall, this episode was actually pretty cool. But it was also really jam-packed with a lot of stuff, and yeah. But this is the first episode. This is her first time doing this type of stuff, so I wasn't expecting anything, great. But this episode was pretty okay. It introduces our characters pretty well. It shows our villains and everything that's had to do with that. But yeah, having all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Turn on notifications, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And having all that being said, may the power protect you.